Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
The topic 4 of this unit 7 is Panchayati Raj, where we'll do the discussion over the meaning, aims and structure of this Panchayati Raj existing in Indian society. Panchayati Raj meaning, the establishment, before understanding the meaning of that, if we talk about the establishment of Panchayati Raj is considered as the process of democratic decentralization. We can call it as a process of democratic decentralization. Decentralization where we are sharing our power with the other units, where the centralization of power is not taking place. Instead of that centralization, we are adopting the principles of decentralization, where we are ready to share our power with the other units or the other federal units existing in our country. And this could be understood in a simple meaning while we are talking about giving power to common people. When we are talking about giving the power to the common people or the common citizens of our country. But this concept of Panchayati Raj is not new to India. This modern development that we are talking about now is already rooted in the Indian history. And if we talk about the history of this Panchayat in India, goes back to hundreds of years. So this is not the new concept here. If we define the term Panch means 5, is ordinarily used for a group of persons who take decisions on collective affairs of the village. These are the main 5 people, the elderly people of the particular village, those who are deciding most of the thing, those who are taking the decision for the welfare of their village. And this is not the new concept to India. Since so many years, if we talk about, we are adopting or we are following this kind of method. Although earlier this was supposed to be the informal one, but now we have started adopting it in a very formal way. And that Panchayati Raj is only the part of this formal structure that has been adopted by India. This system of taking the collective decision through the Panch is known as the Panchayat. So whatever the decision these 5 people, the 5 main members of that Panchayat used to take, that collective decision, when they used to sit and they used to decide over particular issue, that was being defined as Panchayat. It is a sort of a self-governing institution in a very informal way, we can say, where the self-governing institute, where you are deciding the things on your own without involving the outsiders, without involving the external people or the external institutions in that. The ideals of Panchayat, if we talk about here, were revived by Mahatma Gandhi. It was merely included in, according to Mahatma Gandhi, he mentioned that in independent India, through the Panchayat, India would enjoy the self-government suited to its requirement. So he initiated this idea of Panchayat, and it is going to help India after independence, where the self-governing institutions will be there and it will start from the root level of the country. was the reason that this idea of panchayat was always remained an important issue during the freedom struggles, where the more or the main emphasis was, where the more focus or the emphasis was given on providing this power to the local people. But unfortunately, what happened that after independence, the idea of Mahatma Gandhi did not acquire a proper place or the center place in the Indian constitution. Means in the initial years after the independence, if we talk about, it was not given importance. It did not get any important place or the center place in our Indian constitution. Later on, only after 1992, if we talk about, after 1992, if we talk about, only changes were brought when the changes related to this Panchayat Raj system were introduced. So here we talk about when this idea was already initiated by Mahatma Gandhi, and it was planned to be the part of the independent India. It was not included. It was merely included in the Article 40 under the directive principles of the state policy. And this articles, what it says, the state shall take steps to organize village panchayat and endow them with such powers and authorities as may be necessary to enable them to function as a unit of local self-government. Although this was already included in our constitution, but more focus was not given to it. Only after 1992, some amendments were done, which brought the positive changes in this area. And if we talk about soon after independence, a development program for rural areas was launched, and it was known as the Community Development Program, that is CDP. A study team headed by Balwant Rai Mehta we call it as CDP. This CDP was not able to achieve its goal, and just to find the limitations of this program, a new committee was formed that was headed by Balwant Rai Mehta. This study team said when the research they continued and the study was done, they found that the CDP failed to achieve its target because of the absence of people's participation in the CDP. Means this sort of self-governing body was introduced, but the people participation was very less. They were not actively participating in this program. And therefore, based on their study, the Balwant Rai Mehta committee suggested the establishment of Panchayati Raj institution, where they asked to bring the different changes and amendments in this program. And after this, by 1959, if we talk about, all the states in India, they passed this Panchayat Act. Means by 1959, after the report submitted by Balwant Rai Mehta committee, almost all the states passed this Panchayat Acts. But some of the weaknesses were found. There were some of the weaknesses of this Panchayati Raj institution and the problems that were found. Firstly, generation or emergence of conflicts and rivalries among the caste group. This was the biggest problem. The reason being, in villages and the rural area, especially we talk about the villages, or that classes are divided, the categories are divided based on the different caste groups. And these conflicts and the rivalries started occurring for power, which led to the neglect of weaker section of the society. Secondly, no financial power given to Panchayati Raj institution. Here if we talk about, although this sort of body was organized, but they were not getting any financial support to organize the meetings and motivating the individual or the motivating the people, the common people of the village. So no financial resources were provided to Panchayati Raj institution before 1992. Beside that, no regular elections, although the provision was there for the elections, but nobody was keeping check over that, and this was like just formalities were going on, only the things were initiated, but these were not going in a proper manner. Even the elections were not getting conducted on right time after the proper interval. So these were the main problem that could be found or that were found in this Panchayati Raj institution. And main efforts to revitalize the Panchayati Raj system, if we talk about, culminated in 73rd amendment of the constitution, that was around 1993. And this amendment here means the changes, if we talk about, that was supposed to be brought, were based on the principle of power to the people and recognized Panchayat as the institution of self-government. So it was realized after so long, that there is need to bring the amendment in that self-government rule, where the initiative was taken by the government and the amendment was done in the constitution. That was the 73rd amendment in our constitution in 1993, around 1993, where the changes were brought, and it was decided to give more power to the common people as well as to recognize these panchayat as the third tier. It was added as a third tier of the government. We know that in India the central government is there. On the principle of federal unit, if we are working, the country is divided among the central government, the state government, and after this amendment the third tier was included and the third tier was added, and that was the self-government. Now we are going to discuss about what were the different aims of this Panchayati Raj institution, what its objectives. The main aim of Panchayati Raj, if we talk about, is democratic decentralization to give power to the people, where it was decided that state government has to share its power with village government or the rural government at the third level. Clear? So this was decided because central government is also giving the power to state government. The budget and all the resources, the financial resources are provided. In the same way, based on the same policy, it was decided the state government are also supposed to share their power with the local government. Here we can say with the local government, that is the third tier. and this implies the people's participation in the decision making process. So while they were asking to involve the people, it was mainly in decision making process related to local areas. Means it was initiated that if really we would like to bring the change in any of the society, it should not be started from the top level. The change, if you are going to bring, it cannot be started from the top. It should start from the root level, that is from the villages, that is from the rural areas, and slowly and gradually that change can be taken to the upper stages, upper stairs, so that it can bring the change in the whole society. Instead of going down, we need to move upward through this strategy. Beside that, it also includes the promotion of social and economic development in the rural area, where they kept their focus on the economic as well as social development of the particular rural areas or the villages. And at that level, in order to ensure that all the people share their power there are other special aims, different other aims were also there. These aims include empowering the social groups, means providing the equal opportunities to all social groups. It was decided to provide equal opportunities or equal power to all the social groups, which traditionally were supposed to be come under the deprived section. For example, scheduled tribes and the scheduled tribes, they were also included in this self-government, where the power was decided to be given to these common people, including the deprived section of the society. Another aim, if we talk about, beside providing the power to the deprived groups, another aim was to empower the women. And when we are talking about empowerment of women, in this for this 1/3 seats are reserved for them to be the part of panchayat election. So these were the few steps or the strategies taken under that to improve their condition. So ultimately, if we talk about the aim of this Panchayati Raj institution was the development of the rural people, including all the groups and all the sections of the society. Now, the next topic based on this Panchayati Raj institution we are going to take related to the structure. The Balwant Rai Mehta committee recommended the 3-tier Panchayati Raj institution. They referred that we need to work on this 3-tier Panchayati Raj institution, in which we have to work accordingly. The first one, he mentioned, this committee mentioned about the Gram Panchayat that was supposed to be at village level, then Panchayati Samiti at block level, then Jila Parishad at district level, and because all these three were initiated at the village level, clear, in the rural areas basically. This is going to be taken as the third tier of our government, that is local government altogether we call, because second tier is going after that, after district level if we talk about, that is going to be state level, that is related to state government, and after state government the first is the central government who is controlling or ruling over the whole nation. So hopefully it is clear the three level of our country is divided among the three levels. The first one is central government, the second one is state government, and the third one is local government. And this local government further divided into three parts that was recommended by the Balwant Rai Mehta committee, that how they are divided further. At village level, from the root level, if we talk about, the Gram Panchayat must be there. At the block level, Panchayat Samiti will be considered, and at the district level, Jila Parishad will work. Gram Panchayat, if we talk about now, at the village level, it evolves from the Gram Sabha, which is the general body of the Panchayat. And here if we talk about this Gram Sabha, they elect the Gram Panchayat members, but the members varies from state to state. There is no fixed number of the members here. The member of the Panchayat here at this level are called Panch. And each Panchayat have their Sarpanch also, who is elected by the people directly or by the Panch. The Gram Panchayat constitute the most important governing body in village. So at the root level, if we talk about, the Gram Panchayat is the one which include Panch as well as Sarpanch, and both are playing important role, and these different levels are being decided there, which are playing important role at the very root level of the country. The second comes the Panchayat Samiti. Panchayat Samiti at the block level is the intermediate tier in the Panchayat system, that is Panchayat Raj system. And here it comprises of Sarpanch of the Panchayat that falls within the jurisdiction of given Samiti, which resemble a block Samiti or the block community. The Panchayat Samiti is headed by the president or the chairman, who is also the chairman of all standing committees. The block development officer is the main here, that we call BDO. The block development officer is the chief executive officer of the Samiti, that is the chief executive officer of this block level Panchayat Samiti. The third one is Jila Parishad. Jila Parishad, basically at the district level, it is the apex body in the Panchayati Raj system. And who are the members of that? The president or the chairman of all the Panchayat Samitis. All the members of this Panchayat Samitis are going to be the members of the Jila Parishad. Means here the members, those who are present here, the president or the chairman person, all are going, the president and the chairman all are going to be the part of this Jila Parishad Samiti. And if we talk about the president and or the chairman of this Jila Parishad is also elected from amongst the member of this Jila Parishad Samiti only or Jila Parishad only. So this three-tier system, as we have stated, was established or was initiated in almost all the states, but their functioning obviously was not uniform in all the states. The reason being because the different state governments are there, those who are initiating the different rules and regulations, those who are following the different policies according to their state. But we can say it was a good initiative started by the government, or it was a good initiative taken by the government to bring the change in the Indian society. So, in this unit 7, we have discussed about that how the different factors, whether it is land reform, green revolution we have discussed, globalization and liberalization, or the Panchayat Raj system, all have played important role in bringing the change in Indian society. Although we have seen somewhere the positive impacts were there and somewhere the negative impacts were there. But overall, if we talk about it, we can conclude that it led these changes, these different factors which were adopted for the development of our country, for bringing the change in our society, that definitely led to national development. So now we are going to do the discussion of the question answers based on this last topic of Unit 7.